What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your third stimulus check update. And boy, what a last 24 hours we have had. Huge, major breaking news from both the Republicans with their third stimulus check package proposal and the Democrats and the response from the White House. We're going to go over all the details of it in this video and also possibly some mortgage or rental assistance from the states that is going out right now if we have some time in this video. Okay, first up, the key going forward for the next stimulus package is number one, for sure, that all of the Senate Democrats are going to need to vote together. Every single one of them. They're going to need 100% of the votes so that they can pass it through the reconciliation bill, which seems to be the direction that the Democrats are going with the larger stimulus package of $1.9 trillion, $1,400 checks for adults, $1,400 checks for children, and $1,400 checks for adult dependents. They could be more. We'll have to see when we get the actual writing of the bill. I'll go over the details, the latest of that here in just a minute. Adult dependents are going to get the third stimulus check this time, pretty sure, based on the outline that we've seen last week. They also could get the first and second stimulus checks. But the first kind of key here is to be able to pass this with the reconciliation card is to get every single Democrat to vote yes on this bill in the Senate. They can have a few of them vote no in the House and still pass it. On the Cash Act, the $2,000 previous stimulus check bill that passed the House went to the Senate, and then Mitch McConnell, who was then Senate Majority Leader, just tabled it and they didn't vote on it. That bill would have passed, but Mitch McConnell said, "We're not even going to vote. We're not even going to vote on it. We're just we're just going to let it sit here and die in the Mitch McConnell graveyard." But basically, Mitch McConnell, why you do this to Americans, man? Okay, so the first step is that Democrats are every single one of them is going to need to vote together in the Senate. And the one kind of little iffy person there is Senator Joe Manchin from West Virginia. He's been kind of a little bit back and forth saying, well, he didn't know if it was too much to spend and he didn't know if the checks were too much. And then he dialed it back and said, well, yeah, I'll probably go for it. We just had an interview with Joe Manchin, is the senator from West Virginia. He's a Democrat. We just had an interview from the West Virginia governor of the state. He's actually a Republican, and listen to what he just said.
Economic relief is critical for Americans right now. It's critical to your folks in West Virginia. You've been clear about your desire to support President Biden, to work across the aisle. When it comes to this COVID relief bill, I wonder what is more important to the people of West Virginia and to you. That Biden's $1.9 trillion bill passes, even if it's without Republican support and through reconciliation, which would mean bigger checks to your folks in need, or that it's a bipartisan agreement, even if it's less money?
Well, first and foremost, I wish we'd all come together, and that's just not blowing smoke. I mean, that's just because I don't do that. But the other flip side of it is Poppy, we've got a lot of people in West Virginia that are still struggling with paying their power bill because they got laid off because this pandemic just swept their job away from them.
Right, so which one is it?
And I mean, at the end of the day, really and truly, Poppy, what we need to do is we need to understand that trying to be, per se, fiscally responsible at this point in time with what we've got going on in this country, if we actually throw away some money right now, so what? We have really got to move and get people taken care of and get people back on balance. And I want to work with the Biden administration just like I worked with the Trump administration, and I want us to move forward.
That's really significant to hear from a Republican like yourself in a state where your Democratic Senator Joe Manchin thinks these payments are not targeted enough. Have you talked to him about it?
Well, I have not talked directly to Joe about that and everything. I don't really know exactly what the thinking could possibly be there. I mean, we got people that are really hurting. I mean, that's just all there is to it. And on top of that, here's a perfect example, Poppy. My executive assistant came in the other day and said, not far from my home, there was an elderly man that froze to death in his house and everything. Probably couldn't afford to pay the power bill. There are so many different things where people are really, really hurting. Okay. And today, we've got to move. We can't hold back. We've got to move.
So that was the Republican governor of West Virginia sending a message directly to Democratic Senator Joe Manchin that we need more stimulus. And if the bill is in Republican eyes is a little bit too much, or maybe I should say a lot too much for some Republicans, that they need to pass it anyway because Americans and America is hurting. That's a direct message to Democratic Senator Joe Manchin, because remember, they need every single vote from the Democrats to pass this bill in the Senate if they go the reconciliation route, which seems like the way they're going to go. Now, today, we had 10 Republican senators release and announce their own third stimulus check package bill, which is less than one third of the size of the President Joe Biden stimulus check proposal bill, which is $1.9 trillion. The Republican senators bill is only $618 billion, less than one third of the size. In this bill, the Republicans are saying that they want to do $1,000 checks, which is lower than the $1,400 checks from the Biden administration proposal. The $1,400 number comes from a $2,000 plus up bill, where Joe Biden has said that he wants to make the second stimulus check equal $2,000. So $600 plus the $1,400 equals $2,000. It's also it's also $1,400 for children this time around and for dependents. Well, Republicans are saying that that's too much. They want to spend away $1,000 stimulus checks. They want it to only go to people that make under $40,000, and from $40,000 to $50,000 is a phase out. And anybody making over $50,000 as a single, or double that as a couple, would get no stimulus check at all. This is coming from the Republican plan. Well, the Republicans met with President Joe Biden today and said that their meeting was, quote, productive, but no deal was struck. Republicans say they are hopeful a bipartisan deal will be reached. President Biden says that a bipartisan deal could be reached, but the risk is the stimulus package bill not be enough. President Joe Biden and the senators have agreed to talk again after a, quote, excellent first meeting. However, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says this is a once in a century health and economic crisis. Only big, bold action is called for. We cannot accept a package that is too small, key words there, to pull our country out of this emergency. We cannot repeat the mistakes of 2009 when we took several years to come out of the recession, the housing recession of 2009 that crashed the entire economy and took us years to get out of there. That's why almost all economists say now that we need to spend more money with stimulus now, and it will actually pay for itself by getting us out of the recession quicker and not having a multi-year comeback or recession that lingers on. Chuck Schumer says the Senate will deliver more help to Americans and fast. If the Senate Republicans were to get their way, an estimated 29 million people would lose out on the stimulus payments that cap out at $40,000 to $50,000. Anybody over $50,000 as a single or double that as a couple would not get a stimulus check at all, and that is for the lower stimulus checks of $1,000. However, since then, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, arguably the two most powerful people in the House and the Senate, have filed articles to continue on with the $1.9 trillion package, the larger stimulus package from President Biden that has the $1,400 stimulus checks for adults, $1,400 for each child, and $1,400 for adult dependents, along with multiple other things in there. $400 unemployment boost per week that will kick in likely in mid-March when the $300 per week would end. SNAP, WIC, and EBT bonuses, possible increases or extensions. We don't really know the full details of that yet until we get the actual bill. We're also expecting another round of $25 billion for rental and mortgage assistance, where the government will literally pay your rent, and $5 billion for utility assistance in addition to that. There's so many different things in the stimulus package that will help out Americans. There's money for childcare. There's a new proposal. Actually, this one was passed from the second stimulus package. They're putting it into motion now that will retroactively back to, I think, August 2020, pay for the funeral of any family member that died because of COVID. So it'll be interesting to see as the details come out on that, because that could mean several $1,000s for you if you had somebody die in the family from COVID. That is already passed from the second package. There's all sorts of different little provisions in there, along with in the third package, $1,400 per week of sick leave if you or anybody you have to care for catches COVID and you have to care for them and you are not able to work, or if you are not able to work because you have it. Well, today, just a few hours ago, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi have filed a joint budget resolution to give Congress the additional legislative tool to pass the urgently needed coronavirus package of $1.9 trillion. And that is basically, they're already starting to enact the reconciliation card to pass this next stimulus package without Republicans. They're already starting to put this in motion. As you can see here, this new joint budget resolution instructs congressional committees to craft legislation right now to enact the President Biden's 1.9 larger stimulus package, which will provide urgent and targeted funding for the fiscal year of 2021 to crush the virus and provide workers and families the resources they need to survive the pandemic while we continue on, trying to crush the virus. So basically, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, while President Biden is talking to the Republicans, whether he's doing that just to appease them, or maybe he might budge a little bit on the overall price tag of the $1.9 trillion. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are basically forging ahead, already starting the articles of the reconciliation card to basically pass this next third stimulus check package without Republican support at all. And that basically says that Democrats are going to do this one way or another, with or without Republicans, which will mean the third stimulus check, another unemployment extension, another mortgage and rental assistance, set of money or payments, and all the additional things that are in the third stimulus check package. Meanwhile, mortgage and rental assistance payments from the government is available right now from the second stimulus check package, the one that passed at the end of December. This has $25 billion. This is what we call the second round of mortgage and rental assistance. We've already had the first one. In New York, for example, there's still mortgage and rental assistance available from the first round. There might be some in your state or county, but almost the majority of states and counties right now have the second round of mortgage and rental assistance payments available right now. As you can see here, states such as Texas, Ohio, Orange County, California, Missouri, New York, all these different states and cities have mortgage and rental assistance either available or coming available very soon, as we go through just some of the articles that I have here about mortgage and rental assistance for different states and for different counties. For example, Dallas, Texas alone is getting $40 million in rental assistance. So the way to apply for this is, number one, read our comments down below. If you know of any mortgage or rental assistance programs that are passing right now, are available right now, or are passing soon, comment them down below in the comments so our viewers can read about them. Don't put any links. If you want to put a link, then take out the .com part and put a space, and then write DOT /com. Because if you have a link, YouTube will put it in the spam filter. So, or just write that Texas rental assistance is available, or whatever county you're in. There's a couple ways to claim this. Number one, read the comments below. Number two is to Google your state and rental assistance, rent assistance, or mortgage assistance. For example, Ohio rent assistance, Ohio rental assistance. Try to find the official page for your state. The other thing is, you might want to, you definitely should look on your county level. the majority of rental assistance programs are actually happening on the county level. So, for example, Summit County rent assistance, Summit County, Ohio rent assistance. Look that up on Google. Finally, if you can't find anything through those, then call the phone number 211. Okay. But as I tell you guys, I caution you when you talk to somebody on the phone from 211 because you might get an operator that knows absolutely nothing about rental assistance or anything. And then you might call a day or two later and you might get somebody who's super helpful and knows exactly what you're talking about. You also might get somebody who says, no, there's no rental assistance available, but you might call 2 or 3 days later and they say, oh, yeah, it's available now. So again, I caution you, that's just like when you talk to somebody with tech support and they're like, yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then you talk to like the next person and they know exactly what you're talking about and they actually help you out. So that's the only thing I want to caution you with the 211 way. But if you can't find anything online or you just want to pick up the phone, definitely try the phone call of 211 and see if it helps. And again, if you find mortgage or rental assistance is available, comment it down below here. And if you see any comments like that, give those helpful comments a like so they rise to the top. Remember, we want to try to help as many people in our community, our extended family. We are all a family here. So let's help out each other as much as we can. So if you know mortgage or rental assistance is available in your area, comment it down below so our viewers can know about it and apply for it. And also share this video with your friends and family so that they know about mortgage and rental assistance, the third stimulus check package coming out, Social Security increases, student loan forgiveness, third stimulus check, unemployment bonuses. We absolutely cover it all. We call them different buckets of money, and you likely will be able to claim several different buckets of money from these future stimulus checks. There's also a $3,600 child tax credit that's going to be coming in the form of monthly stimulus payments, probably in the third stimulus check. So basically, any children you have, you could get between $250 to $300 per month in a stimulus payment from this possible third stimulus check package. I will keep you up to date on all those different buckets of money. Make sure you subscribe down below and click the bell icon to all notifications so you get notifications when we go live every day, 10 a.m., 3 p.m., 8 p.m., and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have dozens of students that have replaced their 9-to-5 income selling products on Amazon, and I teach them how to do that. Click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.